Good evening. As we approach the start of our class, I wanted to talk about some points about Module 1. What's the essential elements and types of things that I want to cover, some of the tasks that I want you to do, and kind of look at the discussion board questions and give you a sense of what I'm looking for. So first of all, the module will go from the 18th of March to the 31st. And so in that, we want to look at the foundational elements of student services. What's the background to it? What are some of the its structures, and how did it really come to be? And then I want to look at the professional standards that PPWs are held to. I want to talk a little bit about the role of the PPW as they collaborate with staff at schools and also people in the community, and then just look at our role in general as we start this journey together. Now, within that, there are certain things that I want you to do. They're outlined in the module. Read certain things. Look at a couple things that I posted about missions and mission statements and professional standards and brochures and then video clips that you'll look at. But a big part of the first module is for you to make some visits. And the first thing I want you to do is look at talking with the director of student services or the supervisor of pupil personnel workers, and allow them to have a conversation with you about student services. Now, some of you have asked about does that need to be a formal, what questions do I ask, and is it a formal interview? It is not a formal interview, and I kind of want to go through each discussion board question so you're clear about what I'm looking for. I want you to, in the first one, when you're looking at talking about discussion, student services, when you're talking with the director or the supervisor, I really want you to get to the crux of how did it come to be, what's the structure of student services in your county or the one that you talk with. I want to know what's the basic fundamental pillars that they operate from. You want to look at who is all involved in student services besides pupil personnel workers. You want to talk about how has the way services have been delivered changed over time. So that would give you some general sense of what you're looking for. It's just the background to it, the foundations of it, and how it's changed over time. That's really what you're looking for. And then you're replying to that in the discussion question. But again, it doesn't have to be a formal interview. It can certainly be a phone conversation. Right? The next one is I want you to go and visit a community agency. Now, and then you're going to compare and contrast the roles of a PPW to like a caseworker in that agency and what they do. And then I want you to see if you can say how are their roles similar or different than yours, and identify ways these workers might collaborate with you as you work to help families. Now, you can go to a shelter and then talk to someone who works there. You can go to a counseling service. You can go to the Department of Social Services, the Department of Juvenile Services, any community agency that might support families that you work with. I apologize. And in that, you're just answering those questions. Again, I'd love for you to be able to go on site and see the agency as it is, especially with shelters and such. But I'm totally flexible if you have to make some other arrangements. But let me know about that. Again, it's about getting to know outside agencies and people that you might collaborate with in the community. And then what I want you to do is look at the professional standards that I post. Okay, from 1999, the Maryland Association of Pupil Personnel Workers, and what you're doing and is based on what you already know, your own work experience, stuff you've learned through the interview process, through the conversations you've had, and the videos that I showed you. I want you to write a job description that would encompass the essential roles and duties of a PPW as you see them and based on what you've gained so far. So that's what I want you to look for in that question. The next question is the introduction question. And so in this introduction question, which will be the first one that you do, I want you to just take some time to introduce yourself. It's important to include your prior school experience, your work history, give some information about yourself, why you're taking this job, why you want to pursue becoming a pupil personnel worker, and why do you think you might fit nicely into that kind of role. Just introducing yourself to the group. It's important to put a picture up too, just so we can see each other and interact in that way as we have a sense of community. And then the role of the PPW. So I want you to work on this one probably. So you'll do the introduction question, introducing yourself, and then work on this, the role of the PPW. I want you to think about your role right now and your work experience and what's your understanding of some of the essential functions of a pupil personnel worker in a school system. And kind of be honest. I'm taking this class for the first time. I'm not sure what they do. Or I have an extensive work history with them and I see the daily workings of a pupil personnel worker. So in that one, you're just expressing what you know about pupil personnel workers, and then those other three questions would come after. And then the last big item of Module 1 is for you to go to a teaming. Now, in some school systems, they call them GAPS meetings, guidance and pupil personnel worker meetings, and some people call them teaming meetings, and some schools call them SST, student support teaming process. Whatever, I want you to be able to call the school up and ask to go and sit and visit and watch the interaction and the things that happen. Now, certainly, I don't need, and I think it would be inappropriate for you to share any personal information about cases from those meetings. You're really looking at the process, who's involved, how's it flow, how is it structured, how you see yourself in that teaming process, and that will be those guiding questions that help you write the paper that you will need to complete at the end of Module 1. So again, in all of this, I'm new at this. Certainly as we go through, if there's errors you see with how I've written things or it wasn't clear, you let me know, because I'm learning just as you are in this whole process. And so you being the kind of the guinea pigs of this pupil personnel workers class, because this is the first time it's been offered in this format. And so I need your feedback to help make this class stronger. And so again, as I told you in the opening video, I really do have your success in mind. I want you to be successful. I want you to gain information about what it's like to be a pupil personnel worker, and then be able to make a decision at the end. That's really what you want to be able to do. And so as we start, good luck, and you know, stay on top of things, stay organized, don't let time get away, because it will, and be active and participate and be engaging as we go through this process, and I think it'll be a fun class. So until next time, we'll see you.